versus just looking at drawings and AutoCAD files.
Yeah. If you try to explain that.
Right.
Well,
and then you can get to stop at any point and explain, to somebody. Just for the sake of time, I'm gonna try to run through it. But the whole idea is that videos like this kind of give you an overall idea of where the project is, where the project is going, and then you can get to draw questions from it. And then the last few seconds of the video is gonna turn more into like our marketing tool for people who actually want to buy this building or want to actually occupy this building around, because it kind of shows them what the final product would look like. That's when the turnover, TCO dates.
There's another question here.
Do you ever utilize this amount of manpower to produce this prior to winning a project?
Usually they won't spend that kind of money before they win a job.
Are there samples maybe that you can?
Sure.
Okay,
sure.
that's cool.
Yeah. So this is what the building looks like at the end, and I'll give you our website address in case you want to look at more videos. This is on our website. So this is what the final product would look like. Again, this is part of their models, and this is how a BIM can do for you. Right? So it's pretty interesting because people use this for a lot of purposes.
I don't really have a grasp of what 700 hours is.
So this is, you can think about it as like per week, 160 hours, per month. Every engineer can work about 160 hours. So that would be about 6 to 7 people working on it. This is the Microsoft called and said they are building the largest data center in the world in Chicago, and you want to do BIM modeling on that as well. And basically did the model for them, and we're able to put that on an iPad, so anybody can walk around and can stand in a room and say, this is where we are, and the yellow is certain pipes, the orange is a different kind of equipment, and you can see where the pipes fit. So this is what 4D modeling looks like. So the top part, this is Autodesk Naviswork. It's one of the most commonly used software, and it's also Revit. So this is what the building the model would look like. And the bottom half is the schedule, just like the example that Karim showed you. So basically what you will do is that you will go to each activity and tie that to an element on the model. And that's why when the model is being built, you will see the schedule going at the bottom, and it will show which date we got to that point. So it's pretty cool. Go ahead.
That's all on Revit?
It's all on Revit. So the newest technology in the market that I want to show you that we're super excited about is something called holographic construction, which is basically those two people right there are standing, they're looking at a table where there's absolutely nothing on the table in front of them. They actually have to wear this holograph lens, which is built by Microsoft. And once they wear those lenses, they see the party in front of them like this. So this is next level. So again, it's another table with absolutely nothing on it. But that gives you an idea of what the project looks like. You can walk through the project. You can see the different elevation of the buildings. Again, thanks to BIM modeling has to be the initial step. But once you get to BIM, then the next step will take you into the holographic environment. And then you can basically walk through the building, see where the stairs are, where the windows are, and so on and so forth. I want to show you. Yeah, I think you'll find very cool. Oh, there's sound. Great. So I'm going to show you now what holographic technology is like when you're walking on the job site. Just a normal guy walking on the job site, what it looks like. So he's wearing this lens, and he's going to walk around and tell me if that looks different than what you see in real life. Wow.
Zoom in and go out. That's so cool.
So this is what you see with your naked eye walking around.
Like that?
I'm going to show you now what the lenses would do.
It's right there on the column. I can see it on the column. But it says you should use your hands kind of like a control, like a mouse, to be able to click on it.
Looks crazy, right? Looks crazy. It's like a VR.
It's a lot simpler than I would assume.
But you'll see what it looks like. So this is what he sees when you wear this lens. So before it's big, you get to see what it looks like.
Use it almost like a welding hood, but just for quality control check for layout. I mean, I'm constantly measuring with the model on my iPad, coordination would be the main phase that would help for us.
This is what he sees when he walks around. This is what's about to be built as a location.
This is exactly what I'm seeing in the office, but you can actually get real life, which is great for a lot of remodels, especially hospitals. Because a lot of times there we can't even see what's already been built. So being able to walk through with what we do versus what they already have would be great. Well, obviously on the blueprint, you don't have 3D, so you can't see layers on it. You can only see like an overhead looking down. And there's usually a lot of lines running above or below each other, which you know the general area where it's supposed to be, but you don't have an idea of elevation. The best one I can see is definitely for remodels where we don't know what's already there. So then we could use this to really get an idea of how we need to coordinate around what's already there.
So we got a duct screen between those two. Very cool.
Wow.
Go ahead. Anybody has any questions? Go ahead.
What's the approximate cost of the holograms?
The cost per lens is $3,000.
What was the question?
The
How much
cost
do
of
those
the lens.
cost?
Oh, the
3,000, yeah.
So the cost per lens is $3,000, but the real cost is developing that 3D model to begin with, developing the BIM model, and then use a software called SketchUp. Which is SketchUp will take it from a 3D model BIM environment to a holographic lens environment. And once you build that on the software, then you can actually take the model and load that. It's like think about a flash drive, put it on your goggles, and then you can be able to walk around the job site and see it before it's built, which is really cool because all the delays and the clashes and the issues happen before something happens after it's built. And back in the day, they would go out in the field, they will create a hole in the wall, and you try to run a pipe, and you realize that the pipe is 2 inches diameter, and the hole is only 1 inch. So they go back to the office and say, let's put an order, an RFI, let's request additional information, let's make a change, and let's wait a week or two until we get a response. Can you imagine the amount of time that we cut by having 2 people walk on the job site? Be like, okay, let me show you how it will be built, and what exactly the location of this pipe, and what exactly the opening is, and the elevation, and the location of that pipe, and let me show you how this clashes with other trades. So let's say that you have a mechanical contractor talking to an electrical contractor, talking to the general contractor, and the owner is still in the room. They can all walk to a job site and be okay, let's just put on our lens and let's walk around and look at it in real life. And let's resolve the problem on the spot. So do you think that will save you time and money?
Yeah.
So in construction jobs, or the jobs are like, let's say, a hospital that might be $50 million or $100 million, do you think if you spend 10, 20 grand on a technology like this, do you think it will save you time and frustration and lots of money at the end? So they always talk about hotels and hospitals where it comes to scheduling, it's all about putting heads in beds by a certain day. For example, when we work on a project with Universal, which is, we built Harry Potter, and at the same time we're building Harry Potter, they had to open a hotel because they know that a lot of people are going to be coming from England and from overseas for this attraction. So they had to have the ride open at the same time when the hotel opens. So if there are any delays, it's going to cost them how many nights or how many hotel rooms won't be open if the project is delayed by, let's say, a week or 2 weeks or a month, right? You think about the revenue that Universal will be losing if you don't open this hotel on time. And that's why Karim was talking about the schedule and the importance of getting a schedule done on time. And that's why it really gets to a point where contractors and owners fight on whether we need extra money or whether you delayed me or whatnot. To avoid getting to that point, using technology like this can really help you see things before they happen. Anybody has any questions?
If there's a change in the schedule or a design change, is it easy to adjust the model?
Of course. So usually what they do is that in big parties they will have a BIM specialist that basically they will create a separate BIM meeting where they bring all the right parties, and they will give a color to each trade. So they will say, for example, let's say mechanical is orange, electrical is red, and plumbing is green, for example, right? And then they will put the model together. Sometimes they will ask each subcontractor to put his own model, and then they will come to a general contractor and say, Mr. General Contractor, we want you to put together a master model that combines all different colors in one place. And once they do that, then they start seeing clashes. You start seeing things running into each other. Okay, and I wish we have a few more minutes. I have other examples that I can show you, but I know we're running out of time. But basically the idea is that they set up those meetings in the office so they can look at those clashes and try to resolve those clashes before they happen. And if they do that, then they don't have to wait until they go out on the job site and run into a problem and come back in the office and try to fix it. They actually do this ahead of construction. When they know they're going to be in an area, in a month or two from now, they start having meetings prior to that. So if they find an issue, they try to resolve it, and they can start this 1 or 2 weeks of time to resolve the problem before construction starts, which means that by the time construction starts, you already have all those issues resolved. So in a lot of the high-rise buildings, a lot of owners that are smart about this, what they do is that they say, we want to be able to resolve any clashes on every floor per meeting. We'll spend 1 full meeting, it can be 4 hours, just like Karim said, make pizza, make sure nobody leaves the room until we get 1 floor clash detection free. So basically we resolve all the problems, and then we walk out of this room where all the different parties involved, all the different subcontractors say, we have looked at this floor from all different perspectives, and we feel like right now it's ready for construction and we will not be impacted by any delays. And everybody will sign and they walk out. So this is how you really save time on the schedule, and this is how you really can avoid getting to a point where you have to deal with claims and issues. But it takes a lot of partnering and team effort to get that, and that's where usually the owner will enforce that in the contractual agreement with the subs. Anybody has any questions? Let me show you a quick example of what a clash looks like.
Sure.
Okay, I know we're running out of time.